They say you can measure a company fear by how fast it disables the chat during an all-hands meeting. At Vantaplex Solutions, the chat was always disabled. Not because people were rude, but because the truth was noisy. My name is Maya Torres. For 11 years, I kept our order routing engine alive with midnight patches and coffee that tasted like burned regret. I had access, old maps, and emergency keys nobody else remembered. Before the story goes feral, hit subscribe and tap like. Subscribing keeps these stories coming. Now, back to the mess. The day everything started tipping, a new executive rolled in with a rolling suitcase and a ring light, like a travel influencer who took a wrong elevator. Her name was Sloane Hart. She married our CEO, Grant Holloway, 6 months earlier after a charity gala and a suspicious amount of champagne. Monday morning, she introduced herself as Chief Visionary Officer, a title invented by people allergic to consequences. Sloane stood on stage in a lemon suit. Her slide deck glowed with glittery arrows and phrases like, "Cloud first forever." "Good morning, team," she chirped. "Legacy is a mindset, not a system. We are moving fast." I watched Ben Park, our infrastructure lead, turn the color of a printer jam. Sloane clicked to a diagram that looked traced from a napkin. She pointed at the core router cluster and said, "This is the old brain. We will sunset it. We need fresh energy. Builders, not babysitters." Back at my desk, I opened the incident dashboard. For weeks, a vendor token had been expiring early. It should have caused outages. It never did, because of LanternGate, a patch I wrote that quietly renewed credentials and rerouted traffic before anyone noticed. LanternGate was mine. I wrote it at home on my own machine. Years ago, after a ransomware scare, I made legal include a clause that personal tools stayed personal unless purchased. Everyone signed. Nobody read. Sloane especially. 2 days after her all hands, a calendar invite appeared. Quick alignment, 4:45 p.m., me, HR, Sloane. No agenda. No context. Corporate guillotine with rounded corners. The HR office smelled like lavender air freshener and consequences. Greg from HR slid a folder toward me. Severance, non-disclosure, return of company access. Sloane leaned in, voice sweet as artificial sweetener. "Maya, you are talented, but you are not ready for the future we are building. You are more of a maintenance person. Maintenance, like oxygen. Like the invisible thing you notice only when it stops." I unclipped my badge and set it on the folder. "You have 30 minutes, I said. Sloane blinked. "30 minutes for what?" "For the truth to stop being propped up," I said. "I did not break anything. I am simply done holding it together." I walked out. Then I walked 2 blocks to a tiny coffee shop called Juniper and Steam and sat by the window facing the 10th floor where Vantaplex glowed like a confident mistake. At 5:11 p.m. my phone buzzed. "Ben." "Maya, are you seeing alerts?" At 5:13. "Marisol in finance. Where's the reconciliation runner?" At 5:16. "Grant assistant. Please call. Urgent." I sipped my espresso and watched the building. 30 minutes, I had said. We were at 31. The first failure was polite. It always is. At 5:18 p.m., the reconciliation runner paused and flashed "Authorization failed." By 5:22 p.m., single sign-on began denying customers. By 5:24, the ticketing tool logged everyone out at once, like it had decided to practice self-care. My phone lit up. "Ben. Dashboards are red. Did you rotate keys, Alicia from sales? Client orders stuck in pending doom. Is that real, Marisol? Invoices are not posting. Board packet is in the morning." Pending doom was my internal label for a rare edge case I built to catch trouble early. It was supposed to be invisible. Nobody cared until it became prophecy. At 5:31 p.m., Grant called. I answered on the third ring. "Maya," he said, voice tight. "We are seeing instability." "Did you do something?" "I did not do anything," I said. "I stopped doing everything. There is a difference." "We need you back in the building," he said. We will fix the misunderstanding. Grant, I said, I do not work there. You made that clear at 4:45. He exhaled. Sloane made a call. She is enthusiastic. Enthusiasm does not post payroll, I said. I will consult. 800 an hour, 4-hour minimum. Signed agreement up front. All communication in writing. Silence. Then the phone shifted and Sloane's voice appeared, sugary and brittle. Hi, Maya. We need to stay collaborative. This is not the time for ego. Ego is bringing a ring light into a war room, I said. I am offering a professional service. Just tell us where the rollback is, she said. The vendor hooks. We cannot find it. You cannot find it because it is not yours, I said. Lantern Gate was written on my own time. Your onboarding packet says that. You signed it. Greg from HR cut in, trembling. Maya, please, we can renegotiate. You already negotiated, I said. You fired the person holding the flashlight, then complained about the dark. I ended the call. A minute later, she texted from an unknown number. We can make you a director if you help tonight. Also, please do not mention this to anyone. PR is already drafting language. Director. A title offered like a coupon while the building burned. I did not reply. I refreshed the internal status page and watched green checks flip to red like dominoes. Minutes later, a vendor posted on LinkedIn. Due to an issue at a major customer, fulfillment is paused. Then our chatbot replied to angry clients with, We are reimagining efficiency. That line spread faster than the outage. Then Ben sent a text that turned my humor cold. Ben. Security alert. Someone is blaming you. Audit is pulling logs. If they could not fix the leak, they would paint it as sabotage. I opened my laptop, not to rescue them, but to armor myself. I pulled every risk memo I sent, every ignored ticket, every note where Sloane called compliance a vibe. I exported them with timestamps and saved them in 3 places. Then I wrote one email to my lawyer. Subject: They will try to burn me. Here are the receipts. As I hit send, a new message arrived from Grant Assistant. The board is coming in tonight. They want to speak to you in person. I looked at the time. 6:26 p.m. The night was young, and Vantaplex was already on fire. By 7:10 p.m., Ben called me from a supply closet because it was the only place the Wi-Fi still worked. Sloane has a war room, he whispered. She keeps demanding a status update and nobody understands what she means. The outsourced team is rebooting servers like it is a prayer. Do not let them touch the router failover table, I said. If they do, customer sessions will collapse. They already did, Ben said. The CEO is yelling at a graph. I gave Ben basic triage steps to limit damage. Nothing that restored Lantern Gate, nothing that handed them my work, just enough to keep my former teammates from being crushed under executive incompetence. After we hung up, my inbox filled with urgency dressed as remorse. We did not realize how critical you were. Can you jump on a quick call? We can revisit the separation. Revisit? Like I was a calendar invite. Then Sloane sent a new invite. Healing sync, 10 minutes, agenda, please. I accepted. Sloane appeared on camera in an oversized hoodie, hair in a messy knot, eyes rimmed with panic. She looked like a woman who had just discovered that servers do not care about branding. Maya, she began, thank you for joining. I know things ended weirdly. Weirdly is one word, I said. She forced a smile that cracked at the edges. We need Lantern Gate. If we do not restore it tonight, shipments stop, finance collapses, and the board removes me. There it was. Not the customers, not the staff. Her. You called me maintenance, I said. Now you want the maintenance. Do not be petty, she snapped. People could lose jobs. People could lose jobs because you treat systems like accessories, I said. I documented the risks. You ignored them. Name your price, she said. I named terms, a consulting agreement, a signed statement that I did not sabotage anything. written acknowledgement that Lantern Gate was my property, and Sloane steps away from any operational oversight of infrastructure. She laughed, loud and fake. That is not happening. Then you are out of options, I said. A door opened behind her. Grant stepped into frame, pale and furious. Maya, he said, legal says we might be in breach with multiple partners. Our largest client is threatening to sue by morning. Help us. I can help, I said, but not for free, and not under Sloane. Sloane blurted, she is extorting us. I kept my voice calm. Extortion would be if I broke something and demanded money to fix it. I did not break anything. I stopped donating my life. Grant stared at Sloane like he was seeing her for the first time. Then he said, send your contract. Sloane snapped, you cannot. Grant did not look at her. I can, he said. And if the board learns you fired the only person who understood our core systems, you will be lucky to keep your badge. The call ended. My inbox chimed. From Grant. Draft consulting agreement, urgent. From an unknown address. This is Naomi Klein, board chair. We need your factual timeline tonight. I leaned back in my chair. They were not asking me to fix a system anymore. They were asking me to explain who lit the match. I sent my consulting terms back with one sentence highlighted. All statements regarding fault will be accurate and documented. Translation: try to blame me and I will bury you with your own email. Grant signed within 20 minutes. The board approved within an hour. So I began, but not the way Sloane wanted. I logged into a clean environment I controlled under the new agreement and ran diagnostics. The results were simple and ugly. Vantaplex had been living on Lantern Gate like a patient on a ventilator. Sloane had unplugged it while calling the move visionary. The fix was not magic. It was careful, boring work. Renew tokens, validate failover maps, restore safe queue rules, and re-enable guardrails that stopped small errors from turning into avalanches. I guided Ben and the remaining engineers step by step. I did not hand over my Lantern Gate code. Instead, I deployed a temporary bridge service that did the minimum and self-destructed in 48 hours. Enough to stop the bleeding, not enough for them to keep ignoring the wound. At 11:03 p.m. the dashboards shifted from red to yellow. At 11:41 invoices began posting again. The war room cheered like they had personally invented electricity. Sloane posted in the company chat, "Great work, team. We manifested resilience." I stared at the message and understood why people scream into pillows. At midnight, legal sent the statement I demanded, signed by Grant. Maya Torres did not cause the outage. The outage resulted from internal changes made without adequate review. No names, but everyone knew the shape of the culprit. At 8 a.m., Naomi Klein called me. She asked for a timeline and why controls failed. I sent her risk memos, ignored tickets, and the note where Sloane wrote, "Compliance is a vibe." I also sent the clause she signed acknowledging Lantern Gate was mine. Naomi paused, then said quietly, "She did not read it." "No," I said. "She did not read most things." By lunch, the intranet posted, "Leadership Realignment Meeting, 3 p.m., attendance mandatory, chat disabled." At 2:47 p.m., Sloane called me again, voice raw. "They are scapegoating me," she said. "If you tell them you advised me, they will back off. We can share responsibility." Share responsibility, like a bad group project. "Sloane," I said, "I told you to slow down and review. You ignored it. You fired me. Now you want me to lie to save you." Her tone sharpened. "I will ruin you. I have PR. I have timestamps," I said. "And I have your signature." A long silence. Then, "What do you want?" I chose my words. "I want a public apology to the engineering team you insulted, and I want you to resign from any operational role today." "That is humiliating," she whispered. "So is a company-wide outage," I said. At 3 p.m., Ben streamed the meeting audio to me through a back channel. Grant spoke about process failures. Then Naomi took the floor. Effective immediately, Sloan Hart is placed on administrative leave pending review. Sloan tried to speak. Naomi cut her off. This is not a discussion. Then Naomi added, we will engage Miss Maya Torres as an external advisor during the review. Ben texted me. You won. I stared at the words and felt something quieter than triumph. Relief. The weight moved off my chest and onto the people who had insisted it belonged there. But revenge was not finished. It was simply scheduling its follow-up meeting. The follow-up meeting arrived 2 weeks later in a plain white envelope, a subpoena. Maya Torres is requested to provide technical testimony in the matter of shareholders versus Vantaplex Solutions. They fired me to remove risk, then invited me back as the witness who would explain their negligence in simple words. While Vantaplex tried to stitch itself together, my life improved like a long-delayed patch. A competitor, Harbor Loom Systems, reached out with one sentence. We have watched you keep other people's ships afloat. Want your own fleet. They offered a 6-month retainer, remote work, and a team that asked questions instead of giving speeches. Their CTO, Devin Rios, did not say synergy once. He asked what I needed to succeed. I said, respect and backups. He said, done. On day 1, Devin sent a note to the engineering org. Maya Torres is joining as Principal Reliability Advisor. Listen when she speaks. I printed it. I framed it. I considered sending a copy to Vantaplex leadership. The internet handled that. Sloan posted a pastel statement. After reflection, I am stepping away to focus on wellness. The comments turned into a bonfire. Wellness tip. Read contracts. Did your journey include deleting audit logs? Manifest uptime next time. Someone made a parody account called Sloan Says. It tweeted, if you do not understand the outage, it is negative energy. I did not like it. I did not need to. The punchline was already public. Deposition day came. The conference room smelled like carpet glue and legal fear. Attorneys asked me to explain the outage. I spoke plainly. Lantern Gate prevented failure. Leadership changes bypassed review. I warned them in writing. I stopped maintaining unpaid personal software. That is not sabotage, that is boundaries. Opposing counsel asked, Ms. Torres, did you threaten the company with collapse? I smiled gently. I warned them about reality, I said. Reality kept my schedule. Naomi Klein attended. Afterward, she pulled me aside. We are creating independent oversight for technical risk, she said. We want you to advise. And, she added, Grant Holloway will step down at the next board meeting. Grant, too. The ring light had taken down the chandelier. That evening, Grant emailed me directly. Subject, please talk to me. I deleted it without opening. No drama, just gone. I walked past the Vantaplex building once. The 10th floor was dark. A leasing sign hung in the lobby window like a surrender flag. The company was not dead, but it was humbled. And in corporate America, that counts as a near-death experience. Ben met me for coffee. They promoted me to director, he said. Real director, not a vibe. Good, I said. Did they re-enable the chat? He laughed. Not yet, they are scared of us. As we left, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Maya, it read. This is Sloan. I hope you are proud. You ruined everything. I typed one sentence back. No. I stopped saving it. Then I blocked the number, put my phone away, and breathed in the clean air of a life that was finally mine. Power does not always shout. Sometimes it simply leaves, and the people who underestimated it finally hear the silence. And for the first time in years, I slept without listening for alarms.